So welcome everybody to a new video. If you watched any of the previous videos, then okay, this is just a continuation of a series of videos which sometimes lead to absolutely nothing, but I decided I don't really know what to talk about, but I felt like making a video, honestly. And it's very funny, um, because the background is not really relevant. But yeah, I know what topic I wanted to actually talk about. So I think it's kind of funny. I was thinking about I want to do stuff in life. You want to go out and do things that you like, and for me, the things that I like to do are to actually be in nature, do something valuable, and the most valuable thing for me in life is then to build vegetables, build food for the people. And when you're actually building your food system, that you also want to include nature in it. Um, the only sad part about it is you need land in order to do that. And if you buy land, then it's usually expensive. So for someone of my age that still needs to save up, it's a little bit impossible, really. You need to go start, build something up financially, and then you can finally actually buy your own land, and then you can start to build your own vegetables. But then you also need a home, and technically need a home. But to be completely honest, in the Netherlands, it's completely absurd to even think about a home if you're single, don't have a high-paying job, and if you at least want to have some self-respect in terms of freedom. Because let's be real, I think that the cheapest houses here are about 300,000 euros, which I cannot even borrow from the banks if I would have a good paying job. So it's really funny. Like, it's impossible to get on, and then of course, like, if you need to pay it back, that would be at least 15 years of full-time work for minimum wage. So that's quite a lot, and then we don't even have the money included to actually start thinking about like building vegetables and doing something that's actually valuable and meaningful to you. So yeah, really, the governments are just forcing us to live illegal, and that enough people are deciding that they want to live illegal than actually fight with each other to obtain as much money as possible to afford something which we call a house. It's really absurd. And the reason that I talked about all of this stuff is, quite frankly, because like, you don't get to this dream from today on to tomorrow. It requires time, and especially like the house situation that I just sketched, it's a matter of like working 15 years. That's quite a lot to look into the future, and that's like 15 years of like full time, not going on any vacation, living as minimalistic as possible. Potentially, actually, if you have rent, I just realized it's literally impossible to save up to that point. Then it's probably gonna be like 25 years or something like that. You have food and electricity and like, or 15 years living at your parents, and then just that's one thing. So like, that's how long. That's such a big thing that you're like, okay, no, it should be different. So you look at ways to like live legally, which is kind of ironic, right? That this is probably less like you being motivated to do it this way in some kind, because it makes more sense, like rationally, it makes more sense to do it. And then still, like I said, like, you still want to have the food production, do something valuable, and you still need to save up for that. But that's somewhat manageable, let's say. Still, I looked around at Swedish farms, and yeah, I noticed that usually it's you can actually in within like the thing is that you need to buy like the farmland, including the summer house. Um, which, I mean, yeah, what you gonna say about that? Like, the summer house is actually what you're kind of paying for. So it's a little bit unfortunate because sometimes you have like a very cheap summer house, but like uh, maybe too much land. Sometimes you have, so it's kind of tricky, because you want to get the land and you don't really want to get the house or get something very minimal. But the house is what drives the price up, not really the prices for agricultural land. And then in the Netherlands, like agricultural land has become quite expensive. It's like 15 euros a square meter, which means that like if I work 1 hour, I earn 1 square meter. That's always in the back of my mind. So like, okay, I worked like 100 hours now. That's probably that's 40 hours in a week or something like that. So then it's like, oh, that's 40 square meters that you obtain. Yeah, oh, right, yeah, 40 square meters. And then you think about that and you're like, okay, well, technically for myself, I only need like 1,000 square meters. That would be totally fine and you can do whatever you want in a year with that. And preferably you would like to have a little bit more so that you can actually build vegetables for other people and do good. But then again, people don't sell 1,000 square meters of land. They just sell the whole piece together. And then you, of course, have at least a hectare. Sometimes even, probably always a little bit more. And a hectare is 10,000 euros. And 10,000 square meters. So that equates to 150,000 euros. So that's actually almost as expensive as that you would be as like 2 hectares of land is almost as expensive as just the cheapest home that you can get. Like, great, and that's like the starting price for anyone who wants to acquire any kind of land in the Netherlands. I love it. And so because it's always so much looking forward, like it's even difficult to get, it's somewhat difficult even to like find a job. And like I would love to work 60 hours a week just to get as quickly as possible to acquiring the land that I'm dreaming of. But it's so funny that the work is so incredibly difficult as well to get. Like, of course, I haven't really tried my full best, like in like getting any job that is potential, because I think if you go like a cleaner, then you'll probably be able to get like 40-hour work week quite quickly. But yeah, like if you work in a restaurant, then you probably don't have 40 hours a week, so that's also difficult. Now I do actually bad. So I do research, but it's not really research. It's like field work. I do field work for bats and birds. So that's amazing. Pays very well, but you don't make a lot of hours a week. So you really have to like find your way into like making as many hours as possible, which I'm trying to. And it's not very nice, but it's okay. Like, ironically, the way that I make the most money is to actually say, okay, you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna cycle to the place. How far is that? Yeah, that's 40 kilometers. How long is the cycling? Yeah, 2 hours. And you're like, yeah, you know what? 2 hours one way, 2 hours another way. That's roughly 100 euros. So, all right. I just cycle for money, It's crazy. We are in such a weird kind of situation, And the fact is that, like, what do you do with your free time? And a lot of people are probably similar like me. We just go on YouTube, and we want to be entertained because there is not that much that you can just go and do in the wild, without any kind of money. So I've just entered a crazy era, in my opinion. And I just don't know what to say, because there is just so much money to make if you do something that's digital and entertaining, which is the complete opposite of something with like like farming and being out in nature and doing something with food, or off grid for that matter. Like, that's the thing that you want to do, but the thing to actually get money is to do something that entertains other people, because we have too much free time. and too little like actually functioning jobs. Because let's be completely honest to ourselves, we could start to like revert and cut a lot of bullshit jobs and just get more people into actually producing healthy food, which would drive up food prices, of course, but it would lower the price of a lot of bullshit that we have in the society. So in some way, life gets cheaper and will compensate for the fact that you have more expensive food. And it's just ludicrous that's not possible. And it's of course because we start borrowing money from the bank. Or is it lending? I don't know if I think it's borrow. Anyway, we just get money from the bank, and then we say, hey, here's a loan, and I pay that back in 20 or 30 years. And all you just say is like, I sign a contract that the coming 20, 30 years I'm going to expand the economy of the country that I live in at the expense of people somewhere else in the world, because economic growth is definitely correlated with just destroying the planet. It's just that simple. Because I honestly looked into metals. I honestly looked into like renewable energy. And if you think that the waste of electronic compounds is in any way good, it's not. It's simply not. Like, it's horrible. Like, the environment where we put the waste, it's like for eternity, just not usable for mankind anymore. And nature will sort of reclaim it. Like some plants that might be able to tolerate toxicity, they might be able to temporarily neutralize some pollution, but definitely not clean it. Metal is not cleanable. It's just an element different, for example, to nitrogen, which is converted by bacteria to nitrogen in the atmosphere, or something that plants can take up. But metal is not really. Like, not all metal. Like, of course, a little bit of iron, that's what plants need. Magnesium is what plants need. Aluminium is, out of my head, toxic to plants. And there are a lot of metals that we mine that we don't use and just throw away. And no plant is really happy getting that stuff. So it's just really crazy. And the only thing that really, like, things that are making money is things that people want. And we want stuff that's not good for the environment. So you know what economic growth is going towards. And like crazy. So yeah, we all end up on the same platform because ironically there's not, it's a good place to stay. It's a very good place to stay, actually. I was looking at like how much time I'm recording. So like the environment is just, the online environment is kind of a good place because we have so much free time. And it's not really, like, it's really difficult, not really worth. Yeah, it's really difficult to even get towards your dreams. And the only way to actually get there, like, I thought about it as a hitchhiker. Like, I've only hitchhiked once, by the way, so not a big deal, but it gave me the realization, like, we have resources that, like, hitchhiking is, in my opinion, so super cool because we are using you're using something that's already being used. So that probably made no sense, actually. But, like, someone is driving already from work to home, for example. And if they have a free seat, then, like, you can drive with them. It's not that difficult. And, a lot of people don't want that. That's fine. I'm not gonna blame them. But some people are actually very nice. It turns out when I went hitchhiking that they don't really mind, and they actually like to have a conversation with another human being, and they have a free seat, so why not? So it's like a mutual exchange in some way. And I think that, like, that's a very something that people don't really understand sometimes. It's like that it doesn't need to be 100% ecological, and I don't know, but eventually you get to a point where maybe 1/4 of the population is like that, and then you can still use each other, you know. If someone has a car and you don't have a car, then you can just hitchhike and you provide food, so the person that's in the car just can say like, oh, nice. Someone is at least taking care of a food security, you know. So you do each for each other, and like it's just crazy. We just have crazy. I just can't say anything else about it, and yeah, that's actually the inspiration why I wanted to make a video, because I was like, I just find it funny that this is the place where we now find each other on the internet as gamers, or as people who are also wanting to do something, but are like, yeah, people are making it very difficult for you to get along and get somewhere. So yeah, I've been dragging this on for way too long. I can definitely say that. And I honestly am a little bit sad that it's raining outside, or that my phone doesn't like rain, because I would love to actually just go out and record in the rain, because rain is amazing. I mean, yesterday I had to do field work, and it was raining the 2 hours that I went to field work, then it was dry, and then when I went back home it rained again, and I was like, alright, free shower tonight. So oh yeah, what a life, what a time it is to be alive, I would say. And I hope that people, despite that some things I just really messed up, can laugh the way that I laughed in this video, because I think in some kind of way you have to see the irony that where we are actually going to, and also the disbelief that we are going this way. So to everyone watching this all the way to the end, wishing you all the best, and stay focused on your dreams, and keep on getting along with a smile, and share a comment if you actually like this video. Would be fun to read it, if I even read the comments. So, hey, I want to say cheers, goodbye, have a good day, and maybe we'll see you in another video. Hey, goodbye.